anyways.
Everyone good?
All right, time's yours. Yeah.
Hey, Pat, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. Just, you guys obviously have added, a quarterback from the high school ranks, and obviously, what's kind of the plan going into next season? Do you want to have a veteran that Julian can learn under? Obviously, you guys are still Ryan. I mean, just what are you kind of hoping to have as competition goes throughout the offseason at that spot?
Yeah, I think we need to do our very best to get the best players in here at that position, and we want to be a little bit greedy about it. I mean, we obviously Juju's future is unbelievable, and I'm certainly very looking forward to working with him. And he's got a bright future, and we'll see how quickly that happens. But at some point here, I think we need to add another quarterback. We have a target. Maybe a guy with 1 year left, and the recruiting's going very well. So I think you might see that happen. There's been changes. I think I'm learning this for the first time. This only being my second cycle through this, but every year now you're kind of reconstructing your roster. And it happens at all positions, and especially the most key position in my mind of quarterback. And so we're going to do everything in our power to make sure we've got the best players in the best room possible to represent Colorado football.
Ryan, go ahead.
Hey, Pat. Ryan,
Yeah.
You obviously throughout your offense, there's a lot of fluctuation on the line and some injuries
Sure.
and things like that. But you look at it, you had the Heisman Trophy winner and the guy who was also 8th in the Heisman voting. How much fun was that to work with those guys? And is there a sense of pride for you knowing that you got to coach these guys and work with them?
Yeah, it was really an honor. I was one of the guys that didn't get a chance to go to New York because we had recruits on campus, but we were all in the hotel lobby watching it. And an event like that kind of brings a tear to your eye because on the backside of this thing, and behind the scenes, we get to see on a daily basis, how impressive Travis is. And if I was involved in the voting, there would have been 5 guys sitting there, and that 5th guy would have been second. All right, that's the way I see it. And because they're just very special people, and to be able to work with them and help them do what they do, it was great. And then there was the other visual when you had Travis with Coach Prime and Shurmur. Those are the 3 most influential people that have helped reestablish winning back here at Colorado. And so to see that visual, I thought was a great deal.
Hey, Coach, Leo Bear with Scope Up Sports. As a play caller, what do you feel you learned or changed as the season went on, and how are you going to apply those changes towards next season?
Yeah, I think every job I've ever worked, I've learned things where I said, damn, I wish I'd have known that in my last job, right? I think that's part of growth. And by, my journey bringing me here to college, being able to play in 4 wide receiver, 4 open sets, I think is, it opened up my brain a little bit in terms of exciting stuff that you can do to move the ball. Because you can run the ball, you can throw the ball, and when you have dynamic players at all those positions, it really puts a stress on the defense. By the nature of this, and over the time we've been visiting, I've talked about the difference between the NFL and the college ranks. The NFL, in the college, it's really roster design, right? You have more big people, they're tighter formations. Sometimes there aren't as many yards there, aren't as many explosive plays. But having been, in fact, I was watching the Eagles play the Steelers this weekend, and there was one play where when you get tight against the Steelers, they can wallop you, right? But there was one play where I saw them in 4 open, and they ran a simple draw, and there was a lot of room in there. And so, I think it applies to both leagues, and I wish I knew more in detail about how to play that way and how to call it that way in one of my previous jobs.
Go ahead, Adam.
Hi, Coach. Adam Tiger, 24/7 Sports. With Julian Lewis, you talked about his potential. When you evaluated him compared to other 2025 quarterback recruits, what was it that kind of made him stand above those other guys?
Well, he's highly productive. He does all the things you need to see as a quarterback. He's a great decision maker. He has a real sense of timing. He's a very accurate passer. He has a heroic nature. He has all those things you're looking for. And then as you get to know the person, you get to know the man, You know, he really was one of those guys that you want to work with and help develop. And so, you know, that all gives a young man a bright future. But, you know, like, unlike anything else in this world, he's got to put the work in. And so if he does the things that he's done in high school and it continues to improve at this level, then he will have a bright future.
Hey, Coach, Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera.
Sure.
I'm wondering with Shumur Sanders going into this last game for him,
Mm-hmm.
what's been the biggest area of growth for him between, you know, maybe walking off the field at the end of last year and to this point this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really speak to last year too much. It was a blur. But having really been able to sink in on this year and be with them, you know, I know that last game was very emotional for the Sanders, being their last home game. I was really excited for Shurmur to throw 5 touchdown passes and a 52-0. If you saw me, though, I kind of came unglued. We had 1 touchdown called back on a I would call it a very questionable call. I'd probably get fined, I guess. That would have given, and I'm not really into the numbers of things because we won the game, but that could have been his 6th touchdown of the game. And at that point, I guess I was trying to be a little greedy. And, you know, so I was bummed out when it got called back. So for the people I was communicating with, I apologize for my language. But, you know, I just have a real appreciation for the player and the person. And, man, he's got a bright future, you know. If one of these NFL teams doesn't select him, then I think they're taking the second best quarterback. That's just my opinion.
Good, Brian.
I want to ask you another question about Shurmur, because you know, you as the coach, I mean, in theory, you're teaching him, but I'm curious if you learned a lot from Shurmur this last year.
I have. I've learned a great deal from him. You know, in a lot of things, and I'll keep most of it private. But, you know, I think the big thing is you know, even Tiger Woods needed a caddy, right? So as a coach, you know, even Tiger Woods had to be reminded, you know, hit the 6-iron. Well, no, please, just hit the 6-iron. You know, and I think that's kind of the role because, you know, he's so smart. You know, I can call a play like we have an example where, you know, we get an empty and we just call hitches and I'll say play with it. And then he can change all the routes, and that whole play could look totally different. But I trust him to do that because he's really good at it, you know. So I've got a great appreciation for him, and I'm looking forward to him just killing it at the next level.
Okay, last one, Rylan, go ahead.
Rylan Scholes from Rob Report. It felt like over the season you saw you guys really start to incorporate a lot more read option style stuff. Is that something that you guys are going to want to be doing going forward with Juju, or was that just?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
So read option, zone read, you know, to your point, I mean, we have quite a few runs that have RPOs wired to it. And you saw a lot of times where the quarterback can be kind of right or mostly right. So there were a lot of times, and I think it affected our run game to some degree, where he could have handed the ball, but yet he saw the level 1C player squeeze, and then he kicked it out, where now we made maybe a more explosive play on the throw. So that's part of the college game. You know, I really had a good time kind of designing that all up, and we're going to totally continue to do that.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Good?
Appreciate it.
That's it?
Yep.